Next match on the card is going to be the first women's match, and this honestly should be the one match that probably has more people caring about it more than anybody else, because it involves the returning Mickie James, who returned to SmackDown quite a few weeks ago under the luchador mask, helping Alexa Bliss beat Becky Lynch in the steel cage for the WWE Women's Championship of the SmackDown brand. Over a period of a few weeks, we kept seeing different people pop up under the luchador mask. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or a person of bad taste, but this was basically a rerun of the blue blazer gimmick that never was paid off or never finished because of Owen Hart's death. I don't know why they would bring this back other than trying to bring back Mickie James in a surprising way. But when you have a person of a different race and different skin color come out as, the luchador on SmackDown, and then you come back the next week on SmackDown and you have the ever white Mickie James wrestling underneath the mask, I think everybody can know that they're getting fucked with. And it's not, it wasn't a situation like the Black Scorpion of WCW fame, where basically when it came down to it, the person who was going to play the Black Scorpion tried to hold up WCW's management. Honestly, in my mind, he played the right card. Only this time, WCW was smart and didn't pay the ransom of the wrestler and just said, fuck it, you're fired. And they put Ric Flair under the mask trying to save it, and it couldn't. And the Black Scorpion character, which was being built up as basically a wrestling magician, not the one that WWF did, ended in a horrible death, because there was no way that Ric Flair was that guy the whole time, and they could really tell that something happened. And they had to wait for the sheets to come out, or some people who didn't read the sheets had to wait because there was no internet. That was like in the early 90s. They had to wait for shoot interviews to become popular, or just finally be able to read an article about it on the internet years and years and years later, when WrestleCrap was born. But this is a match that honestly is going to be the returning Mickie James. But then again, Becky Lynch needs to get her win. But, with 3 women's matches featured on this, you can really tell that more than likely the Nikki Bella versus Natalya feud would seem like it's going to be going longer. I think that Naomi might actually have a chance of winning the championship. So they didn't bring back Mickie James to be Alexa Blitz's, door match, or, best friend, or sort of, I don't really know a real word to put her, but she's not going to be anybody's doormat. I mean, they brought her back, yes, to be a face that people know and bring some people to SmackDown because Mickey's back and they want to see her, and she's always one of the fan favorites of the women's division. But they want to showcase her. Maybe she's not going to have the championship, a lot like how the Dudleys came back and they wrestled in WWE for a year, from SummerSlam to SummerSlam. They win after those tag team titles from the New Day a lot of times, but they never really pulled it off. But with this being a singles match, they have to have Mickie James do something relevant to sort of hang her hat on. And this being, I believe, her first singles match, or at least, that first pay-per-view singles match, I'm picking Mickie to beat Becky and try to get some life out of this feud. I don't know what they're doing with the women at WrestleMania, but people have said they're calling a lot of old faces. I don't want to see another women's battle royal like there was at WrestleMania 25, and a lot of people are thinking that might be what they're doing. I'm hoping that they're just looking for a lot of returning faces. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for Mickie James to go into the Hall of Fame when she's being an active wrestler, but maybe they're just trying to bring back a lot of faces to be in Mickie's corner or in Mickie's camp because of her whole thing about, the Divas Revolution burying everything that she had built. I know that it's more than likely not going to happen, but think if they did a, Mickie James, Trish Stratus. I don't know if Lita's wrestling anymore. They made it seem like Trish Stratus had a chance to come back and wrestle a match at that TakeOver show if she wasn't pregnant. But, have some sort of, the girls of the past against the girls of the future. So, but then again, everything's been saying that Lita left the company and is no longer involved with WWE. But people said the same thing in the same story about Jerry Lawler, and he came back and he did the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. For all we know, he might be doing the Elimination Chamber show as well. So, I'm picking Mickie.